Chosen one, pause your racing thoughts and open the inner ear. This moment isn't random and it isn't fragile. A decree has gone forth over your life. Enter sacred stillness. Not a suggestion, not a mood, a holy command. Heaven has marked you for a season of incubation, a spiritual lockdown orchestrated for your protection and preparation. Around you, unseen currents are shifting with force. What seems like a sudden halt is, in truth, a shield erected between you and a storm you cannot yet see. You were led here on purpose because you needed to hear this now. Your life stands on the edge of a threshold. Breakthrough is near enough to taste, which is precisely why resistance has intensified. The pause is not punishment, it is placement. It is a fortress and a forge at once. If you try to outrun it, you risk dragging yesterday's fractures into tomorrow's calling. If you surrender to it, you will exit with a strength that doesn't shatter under pressure. Take this seriously. The next days may feel like nothing is happening. You may feel unusually drowsy, slowed, uninterested in the noise that once grabbed your attention. That is not weakness, that is sanctuary. Your spirit is being tucked out of the wind while heaven works behind the veil. Breathe. Name what's true. I am being protected. Your nervous system needs that confession as much as your soul does. This is not burnout from a long week. This is not ordinary exhaustion. This is a divine suspension. Heaven is placing a gentle hand on your shoulder and whispering, "Be still." The great physician has scheduled surgery on your soul, and anesthesia looks like sleep. The pull you feel, the heaviness that makes alarms meaningless and caffeine powerless, doesn't come from laziness. It comes from glory. Time will blur and stretch. Minutes may feel elastic. Don't fear it. Reverence it. When earthly systems quiet, spiritual systems awaken. While your eyes close, your spirit opens. You are stepping onto holy ground. The usual urgency will protest. Your calendar will argue. The voice in your head will list everything that needs doing. But your spirit, finally louder, will answer, "Let go." Release your grip on the wheel. The one who guards you is not improvising. He is intentional down to the breath. He loves you too much to allow you to keep running on broken legs. Lay down. Let him rebuild the bones beneath your drive. This stillness is not an interruption to your purpose. It is the workshop where your purpose is refined, measured, and fitted to your true capacity. Hear this clearly. You are not being sidelined. You are being sanctified. Hiddenness has always been heaven's favorite classroom. Seeds do their deepest work in the dark. Babies are knit together where no one watches. Prophets learn to recognize the voice of God far from the crowd. In that tradition, you are being pulled away, not to punish you, but to guard the tenderness of what is being formed. No outside fingerprints on this work. No stray opinions, no performance, just presence. And yes, there will be a moment when you try to wake up, as if to prove you're still in control, and you'll feel a gentle tug downward, like a tide pulling you back under. Don't panic, praise. That pulling is the signal that heaven isn't finished. Clay doesn't argue with the potter, it yields. Let yourself be turned on the wheel without shame. The reshaping you need cannot be accomplished under bright lights and loud rooms. It happens where silence becomes sanctuary and surrender becomes wisdom. You've carried too much for too long. You've been the strong one, the steady one, the solution in 100 rooms. But strength used for survival can harden into armor that even love cannot reach. This is why the shutdown feels non-negotiable. It is. Heaven is removing the armor you put on in battle so healing can touch the places it was never meant to bypass. Consent to stillness will feel like grief at first. Grief for momentum, for plans, for the illusion of control. Let it pass through you. Beneath it waits a calmer power, the kind you don't have to manufacture. Understand what this season is and what it is not. It is not abandonment. It is not apathy. It is not failure. It is consecration. It is an inner consecration that will spill over into everything. Your words, your work, your relationships, your rhythms. In this consecration, heaven silences the static that kept you second-guessing. The world grows loud when destiny draws near. The enemy always prefers you frantic. But the Father is muting that roar so you can hear a whisper, His whisper. And when that whisper anchors you, no storm can unseat you. Your assignment for now is painfully simple. Obey the pause. Let obedience be your oxygen. Set gentle boundaries that honor the decree over your life. Reduce the unnecessary. Respond slowly. Choose quiet without apology. Speak to your body like an ally. We are safe. We are allowed to rest. Curate your inputs. Fewer headlines, fewer opinions, fewer manufactured urgencies. Replace them with stillness, with prayer that doesn't perform, with simple worship that doesn't demand. This is not about earning anything. It's about receiving what striving could never buy. You may wonder, if I sit still, who is fighting for me? The answer is already written. Be still and watch. Your defender has never needed your hurry to be effective. While you rest, he arranges what seemed immovable. While you close your eyes, he opens doors no email could unlock. While you stop rehearsing rebuttals, he softens hearts you could not reach. The incubation is both shield and strategy. Shield from the immediate storm, strategy for the larger war. You are not losing ground. You are gaining a foundation that won't crack at the first tremor. Anticipate the confusion of others. Not everyone will understand. They will measure your silence as absence and your boundaries as aloofness. Bless them. You don't owe explanations for obedience. You are being shepherded by a different timeline now, one not ruled by the clock, but by Kairos, divine timing. In that timing, late and early stop mattering. Ready matters, alignment matters. When the Spirit says rise, you will, but not a second before. Hold this promise close. When you emerge, you will not merely resume life. You will carry a different atmosphere into it. Peace will settle into your bones like a new posture. Authority will sound in your voice without strain. The weight you used to drag will no longer cling, because what could only be healed in private is being handled now. What would have taken you years in your own effort, grace will accomplish in days. That is why the shutdown is sacred. That is why the incubation is non-negotiable. It is heaven's kindness, not heaven's cage. So, chosen one, receive your orders with honor. Place your striving on the altar. Let rest be your yes. Whisper it if you must. I consent to the holy pause. And as you do, expect the inner weather to change. Less static, more signal. Less haste, more heart. Less proving, more presence. This is the doorway to the work beneath the work, where God rebuilds what hustle only hid. Step through it without fear. The ground may feel unfamiliar, but it is holy, and it is yours. When you are ready, close your eyes, not to escape, but to enter. You are not stepping away from life. You are stepping into God's hands. And in His hands, you are safer than you have ever been, nearer than you have ever felt, and closer than you have ever imagined to the life you were born to carry. Chosen one, do not confuse this pause with rejection. Do not mislabel stillness as failure. What you are experiencing is not isolation, but incubation. It is not inactivity, but divine activity that unfolds without your interference. From the outside, it may look like you have been set aside, but from heaven's perspective, you have been set apart. Think of the patterns hidden in Scripture. Elijah, weary and hunted, was hidden in a cave until the whisper of God recommissioned him. Jesus, before the fullness of his ministry, was led into the wilderness to fast, to wrestle, to silence the adversary. Jonah, swallowed by darkness, was protected in the belly of the great fish, not destroyed but preserved until repentance reshaped his calling. In every case, hiddenness came before release. The womb of waiting prepared them for the weight of their mission. And so it is with you. You may call it loneliness. Heaven calls it holy hiddenness. When you feel unseen by people, it is because God is keeping you untouched while He rewrites your foundation. This is why conversations suddenly end, opportunities suddenly close, platforms suddenly quiet. It is not punishment. It is protection. He is guarding the fragile shoots of new life within you. Just as no one intrudes on a child's forming in the womb, heaven has sealed your incubation against premature exposure. There is a reason your energy for chatter has faded. There is a reason your hunger for noise has dulled. This is not depression. This is anesthesia. Heaven is performing surgery on your soul, and surgery requires stillness. You cannot heal if you keep running. You cannot hear if you keep shouting. So heaven presses you down, not with cruelty, but with care. Every time you try to wake, the pull downward is a reminder. The operation is still underway. And though you feel trapped, you are safer here than anywhere else. Hiddenness is not absence. It is evidence that you are precious. God hides what He values most. Jewels are buried in the earth. Seeds are buried in soil. Even Christ, after His death, was hidden in the tomb until glory broke it open. If He hid His Son, will He not hide you also until the appointed hour? This hiddenness is not empty. Silence is not void. In the absence of noise, the whisper of God becomes audible. What you thought was emptiness is actually the clearing of a channel. Static is being stripped away so signal can come through pure. It will feel unfamiliar at first. The lack of distractions, the quiet rooms, the absence of urgency. But it is in that vacuum that His voice finds you most clearly. Do not mistake the pause for wasted time. Incubation is holy productivity. Roots grow where no eye can see, and without them, no tree survives the storm. You are being rooted in stillness so that when wind comes, and it will, you will bend but not break. You are being cocooned in silence so that when you emerge, your wings are strong enough to carry you where walking was once impossible. Yes, you will ache for movement. You will long for recognition. You will question if you have been forgotten. But lean into the paradox. Hiddenness is heaven's favorite stage for healing. The Father does His most transformative work where no audience claps, no platform observes, no critic intrudes. Private healing is what makes public victory possible. Chosen one, consent to the silence. Let hiddenness hold you. Stop apologizing for disappearing. You are not vanishing. You are being delivered. Heaven is not subtracting from you. Heaven is investing in you. Every hour of quiet is a deposit of strength. Every day of rest is a blueprint written into your bones. And when the incubation ends, you will not simply return. You will emerge transformed. Chosen one, time has always been the tyrant of humanity, measured in deadlines, birthdays, alarms, and regrets. But what you are stepping into now is not bound by Chronos, the ticking of man's clock. You are being ushered into Kairos, divine time, where minutes stretch into revelation and years collapse into sudden fulfillment. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being pulled into alignment with eternity's rhythm. That is why your body feels unexplainably heavy, as if gravity has doubled. It is not weariness. It is the weight of glory. It is the signal that heaven has pressed pause on your mortal schedule so your soul can synchronize with God's. You may set an alarm and sleep straight through it. You may fight to stay productive, but your body will refuse to cooperate. This is not laziness. It is obedience written into your cells. Your biology is bowing to heaven's command, be still. Do not fear the disruption. What looks like delay is design. What feels like inactivity is incubation. Think of Israel wandering the desert for 40 years. What seemed like wasted time was training for freedom, preparing slaves to become sons. Think of Mary, overshadowed by the Spirit, carrying promise for 9 silent months. Kairos hidden within Chronos. So it is with you. Every moment you feel suspended, Heaven is weaving new structure into your being. Your nervous system is being rewired. The hormones scrambled by years of stress are finding equilibrium. The loops of fear, shame, and urgency are being interrupted. While the world hustles, you are healing. This is holy neuroscience. God Himself smoothing neural pathways, softening trauma, dissolving panic. Therapy may have named the wound, but grace now stitches it shut. While you sleep, angels are realigning what striving never could. And here is the miracle. Time itself bends in this realm. Minutes may feel like hours. Hours may evaporate like seconds because Kairos does not serve the clock. The clock serves Kairos. What would have taken you a decade of clawing will be delivered in days of surrender. What pressure has been aging others is being reversed in you. Wrinkles of stress on the soul are smoothing. Energy is returning. Cells are renewing. You are not being drained. You are being preserved. Chosen one, remember this truth. Rest is not idleness. Rest is strategy. Peace is not passivity. Peace is power. By refusing to run with the frantic, you are stepping into a realm where miracles can finally manifest. You have been trained to equate progress with motion, but God is teaching you the paradox of the kingdom. Stillness can be more fruitful than striving. Your pause is producing more than your push ever did. Do not be afraid when routines dissolve. Do not panic when your to-do list grows dusty. You are not falling behind. You are being repositioned. Every second of this stillness is recalibrating you to heaven's pace. You are stepping out of man's deadlines and into divine appointments. You are leaving Chronos and you are entering Kairos. And in Kairos, nothing is lost, only redeemed. Chosen one, while you surrender to stillness, heaven has not paused. On the contrary, the invisible realm is more active than you can imagine. As you lay your body down, angelic hands are lifting obstacles from your path. What your striving could not open, favor is prying wide. What your persistence could not repair, grace is stitching together in silence. You are not missing opportunities. You are being positioned for the right ones. Finances, for example, what once felt like endless struggle and scarcity. You fought for every coin, worried over every bill, and still felt drained. In this sacred rest, God is shifting the soil beneath your provision. Emails unanswered will suddenly return with good news. Debts that haunted your name will begin dissolving. Doors you knocked on in vain will swing open without effort. This is not the fruit of your hustle, but the overflow of His favor. Learn this now. You are being funded by grace, not grinding. Provision is not a wage. It is an inheritance. And while heaven rearranges resources, it is also tending to relationships you thought were forever broken. Hearts that turned against you are softening in your absence. People who misunderstood your calling are being given new sight. Enemies are being silenced, not by your arguments, but by divine intervention. Do not reach out. Do not chase. Do not reopen doors that God Himself is repainting. Reconciliation birthed in heaven is stronger than any apology you could craft. Let Him heal what your words never could. Some connections, yes, will fade completely. This is not cruelty, it is mercy. Heaven is severing soul ties that drained your spirit and blurred your identity. Release them without bitterness. A clean slate is being written on your heart. The silence you feel in relationships is not rejection, it is redirection. Trust the author who writes better endings than you imagined. As you obey the pause, miracles unfold quietly around you. Forgotten names are being remembered in high places. Inheritances are being signed with your name on them. Contracts you prayed for are being whispered over by angels. You lift not a finger, yet foundations shift beneath your feet. This is the paradox of divine provision. You will receive more in rest than you ever achieved in striving. Chosen one, understand the strategy of heaven. Your sleep is your seed. Your silence is your weapon. Your surrender is your shield. Others burn out because they mistake speed for success. You will rise renewed because you have learned that stillness is not emptiness, it is alignment. While you rest, heaven works. While you keep silent, heaven speaks. While you wait, heaven moves. Hold this truth close. Your lack of activity is not lack of progress. Your obedience in rest is unlocking doors your effort never could. Miracles in finances, in family, in future are already in motion, sealed in the quiet chamber of divine incubation. Let go of the urge to check, to control, to confirm. Heaven has already signed what you have yet to see. Chosen one, your provision is secured. Your reconciliation is unfolding. Your miracles are moving toward you, all while you rest, all while you are hidden, all while you obey the holy pause. Chosen one, perhaps the loudest battlefield you've ever known is not out there, it is inside your own mind. Racing thoughts, looping fears, the constant hum of not enough in the background. For years you have lived on survival mode, teaching yourself to stay alert, to overanalyze, to anticipate loss before it arrives. That pattern may have kept you alive once, but it cannot carry you into destiny. And so heaven has intervened, pressing pause, laying you down to rewrite your very wiring. This is more than sleep. This is holy neuroscience. God is reaching into the neural pathways carved by trauma, scarcity, and striving. He is silencing the inner critic that always told you you're behind. He is dismantling the panic button you could never turn off. He is erasing the replay reel of old betrayals that still hijack your peace. Therapy may have given you language for the wound, but grace is now giving you healing for it. Where medicine ran into walls, the spirit is moving through closed doors. You may not feel the operation while it is happening, but you will notice its fruit. You will begin waking with clarity where confusion used to reign. You will sense solutions forming that you never studied for. You will find peace in places where panic once lived. This is transformation that outpaces willpower because it is not powered by effort, but by surrender. You could never outthink your brokenness. But God is out-loving it, out-healing it, out-rewiring it. Understand, your default settings are being changed. The reflexes that once triggered anxiety, people-pleasing, or self-sabotage are being overwritten with faith, confidence, and holy rest. You will not have to perform calm. You will simply embody it. You will not need to fake courage. It will flow out of you because your nervous system has been realigned with truth. This is the renewal spoken of in Scripture. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And this renewal is not symbolic. It is cellular, neurological, spiritual, all at once. During this incubation, keep your posture simple. Don't clutter the stillness with striving. Light candles of prayer, not bonfires of panic. If you must do anything, let it be gentle practices that align you without draining you. Whisper a breath prayer as you fall asleep. Let soaking worship wash over your atmosphere. Keep a journal by your bed to record the dreams and sudden insights you will not want to forget. These are not labor, they are cooperation with grace. Do not fear if your appetite for entertainment or chatter fades. That is not disconnection, it is recalibration. Your spirit is tuning to a higher frequency, one that requires less noise and more stillness. Heaven is downloading revelation in subtle, quiet ways. You may not remember every dream, but you will carry the afterglow in your spirit. Ideas that seem to appear out of nowhere, discernment that feels sharper than logic, peace that cannot be shaken by headlines or conversations. This is the miracle. You are not simply being comforted. You are being reprogrammed. Survival was never meant to be your permanent state. Thriving in grace is your inheritance. The instinct to hustle at the expense of your health, the need to control every outcome, the fear of letting others down, those scripts are being deleted. In their place, a new script is being written. Trust before panic, rest before reaction, peace before striving. Chosen one, when you emerge from this holy shutdown, you will think differently, speak differently, and move differently. The strongholds in your mind will be rubble beneath your feet. The voices that tormented you will be silenced. And the voice of God, once buried under static, will be clear and steady. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became still enough to let Him do the rewiring. Chosen one, feel the air thinning around you. This is not suffocation, it is elevation. God is lifting you higher, and at higher altitudes, not everyone can breathe. Some companions will fade, some doors will shut, some habits will feel impossible to carry. Do not grieve as if you are being abandoned. You are being selected. Separation is the price of elevation. Closed doors sting. Opportunities you thought were yours suddenly slip away. Friendships once constant grow silent. Places that once felt like home now feel foreign. Do not misinterpret this pruning. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is protecting you. Some rooms are too small for the version of you God is building. Some voices would drown out the whisper He is training you to hear. Some patterns would collapse under the new weight you are meant to carry. He loves you too much to let you drag dead weight into destiny. At this level, standards rise. What you feed your mind, how you steward your body, where you spend your hours, these are no longer casual choices, they are consecrations. Higher callings require stricter diets. Just as an athlete denies himself what others indulge, you are being trained for endurance that others will never need. You may feel restricted, but restriction here is refinement. Heaven is cutting away excess so your spirit can move freely, like a climber shedding baggage before scaling the mountain. Do not envy their pace. The crowd seems to run fast, chasing applause, gathering platforms, achieving milestones. But remember, fast is fragile, and shallow roots cannot anchor great trees. God is building you slowly because He is building you to last. What feels like delay is depth. What looks like stillness is strength training. While they sprint ahead, you are being fitted with lungs that can breathe where the air is thin. This is why comparison dies here. You were never called to run their race. Your path is not forward only, it is upward. Altitude changes silence the noise of competition. The higher you go, the fewer can follow. Do not fear the solitude. Rare air is not for everyone. That is why it feels lonely. It is holy. And yes, some relationships will not survive this elevation. People, places, habits, even identities that once defined you will fall away. Release them without resentment. You have outgrown them. They were beautiful in their season, but they cannot travel where you are headed. God Himself is closing chapters you could not bring yourself to end. Trust His editing. A door shut by His hand is a mercy you may not yet understand. Chosen one, honor this season of separation. Treat it not as exile, but as training. Let go of the urge to explain yourself to those who cannot breathe this air. You owe no defense for your obedience. Instead, fix your gaze upward. Thin air may feel restrictive, but it is proof that you are ascending. Restriction is refinement. Separation is selection. And elevation is always preparation. Chosen one, you have carried the title of the Strong One for far too long. You were the reliable one, the steady presence, the pillar everyone leaned on. When chaos erupted, you held it together. When others broke down, you patched the cracks. You wore your strength like armor, but inside you often ached for someone to notice the weight. That armor was forged in survival, not in freedom. It kept you moving, but it also kept love at a distance. And now God is asking you to lay it down. Do not be afraid of what feels like collapse. Your trembling, your tears, your questions, none of them disqualify you. They are invitations. Heaven does not require your performance, only your presence. In this holy pause, you are being stripped of false strength so that real wholeness can take its place. You do not have to prove anything to God. You do not have to hold the world together. You are not losing power, you are finding purity. Feel the difference. Survival strength is rigid, brittle, exhausted. True strength is supple, radiant, anchored in peace. Survival strength says, I cannot break. True strength says, even if I break, I will be remade. What God is offering you now is not another layer of armor, but healing of the skin beneath. He is reaching the tender places you hid, the wounds you covered, the fears you silenced. Let him touch what hustle and stoicism could not reach. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar. You will grieve the identity you wore like a shield. But remember, armor that once protected you is now suffocating you. To step into wholeness, you must shed what no longer fits. That is why the pause feels so vulnerable. Vulnerability is the birthplace of restoration. This season is also a reroute. You thought the path was linear, forward, always forward. But heaven is recalculating, sending you down what looks like the scenic route. You wonder, why am I not where I thought I'd be? The answer is mercy. The detour is destiny's protection. Along this road, you are gathering wisdom, endurance, and discernment, tools you would never have found on the shortcut. What you call delay is God's precision, ensuring that what's next will not break you. Release your grip on the illusion of self-reliance. Let yourself be held. Let yourself weep without shame. Let yourself rest without guilt. You are not called to be the strong one anymore. You are called to be the whole one, the healed one, the honest one, the one who knows that surrender is not weakness, it is worship. Chosen one, when you rise again, you will carry a different kind of authority. Not the authority of someone who never broke, but the authority of someone who was broken and rebuilt by God's own hands. People will look at you and see not just resilience, but redemption. They will not only hear your words, they will feel your wholeness, and that wholeness will set them free. Lay down the armor. Step into the gentle strength of surrender. Let the world see not your hardness, but your healing. For you were never meant to be admired only for surviving. You were chosen to be transformed. Chosen one, the silence is almost over. What felt like burial was planting. What seemed like disappearance was design. You are about to emerge, not as the exhausted version of yourself, not as the one who carried secret wounds behind quiet smiles, but as a renewed creation. When your eyes fully open, everything will look different because you will be different. Your voice, long silenced by fear, shame, or the need to please, is being reborn. No longer will you speak from wounds, you will speak from wisdom. No longer will your words echo insecurity. They will carry the vibration of authority. Like the prophets of old, your tongue is being touched with fire. When you speak again, your voice will not merely describe, it will transform. Rooms will shift, hearts will awaken, and chains will fall because you have been with God. And those who have dwelled in His presence never return the same. Peace will rest upon you like a mantle, not the fragile calm that breaks at the first hint of trouble, but the deep serenity that comes only from alignment with heaven. You will walk into storms and not absorb their chaos. Instead, your presence will calm the waters. You will carry an atmosphere that testifies, this one has been hidden with God. The anxiety that once lived in your chest will be replaced by a quiet confidence. People will sense it before you even speak. Your commission is also changing. You are not being sent back to old rhythms, but forward into a new assignment. Obedience, not urgency, will guide your steps. You will no longer live as one scrambling to meet man's expectations, but as one moving on heaven's timetable. Your yes will carry weight. Your no will carry clarity. You will move slower, but with more power. What once drained you will no longer define you. You are stepping into destiny not with frenzy, but with fire. Chosen one, remember, emergence is not a return to who you were. It is a resurrection into who you were always meant to be. You will carry rest as your weapon, peace as your authority, and love as your strategy. And when others see you, they may say, something about you has changed. Smile because they are right. You are no longer the strong one pretending. You are the healed one, living whole. Now a final call. This is not just your story, it is a collective awakening. You are not alone. There are thousands of chosen ones rising across the earth, each hidden, each prepared, each about to emerge. If your spirit bears witness, declare it. Mark your readiness, not as an algorithmic gesture, but as a prophetic act. Say aloud, I am ready to rise. Share this word with others who are weary, not for numbers, but for nourishment. This is how a fellowship is formed, not by accident, but by assignment. And so as you stand at the edge of emergence, let this prayer seal you. Father, thank you for the holy pause that remade me. Thank you for hiddenness that healed me. Thank you for the silence that restored me. Now I rise not in my own strength, but in yours. Send me with peace, mantle me with authority, and anchor me in love. Amen. Chosen one, step forward. Your commission is alive in you. Your voice is fire. Your peace is power. Your destiny awaits, and this time you will walk into it whole.